Hello, beautiful Taurus, and welcome back to Cosmic Blueprints Astrology. I'm Sino, and I'm so thrilled to have you here today to explore what the cosmos has in store for all your grounded central Taurus placements in 2026. If you're a Taurus Sun, Moon, or Rising, this forecast is specifically for you, and if you have significant Taurus placements in your chart, you'll definitely want to stay tuned because 2026 is bringing some major shifts and beautiful opportunities your way. Before we dive in, if you're new to the channel, welcome to our cosmic family. Please hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you never miss a forecast. And to my returning viewers, thank you so much for being here and for your continued support. It means everything to me. Now let's talk about your year ahead, Taurus. 2026 is a year of liberation, transformation, and beautiful expansion. After years of Uranus shaking up your world, you're finally getting some relief while simultaneously being called to heal deep wounds and step into joyful self-expression. We're going to break this down month by month, covering all the major transits, eclipses, and planetary movements that will shape your journey. So get comfortable, grab your favorite drink, and let's explore your cosmic blueprint for 2026. So before we dive into the month-by-month breakdown, let's look at the big picture themes that will define your year, Taurus. The most significant development for you this year is Uranus finally leaving your sign on April 25th. Uranus has been in Taurus since 2018, bringing unexpected changes, disruptions, and revolutionary shifts to your identity, your body, and your sense of self. After 7 years of upheaval, Uranus moves into Gemini, and you can finally breathe. The constant surprises and instability are ending now, and you're entering a period of greater stability and predictability. When Uranus enters Gemini, it moves into your second house of money, values, and possessions. While this might sound concerning, remember that your second house is naturally your domain. You understand material security better than most signs. Uranus here will innovate your income streams and revolutionize what you value, but you'll handle it with much more grace than you handled Uranus in your first house. Chiron, the wounded healer, enters Taurus on June 19th. This begins a multi-year journey of deep healing around your identity, self-worth, body image, and right to exist as you are. Chiron's work is uncomfortable but ultimately liberating. You'll be healing wounds you may have carried for lifetimes. Jupiter begins the year in Cancer in your third house of communication, learning, and local community before entering Leo on June 30th. When Jupiter moves into your fourth house, it brings expansion and blessings to your home, family, and emotional foundations. The second half of the year focuses on creating a beautiful sanctuary and deepening family bonds. Saturn moves into Aries on February 13th, entering your 12th house of spirituality, the subconscious, and what lies hidden. Saturn here wants you to do the deep inner work, to address fears, release old patterns, and develop a spiritual practice. This is about mastering your inner world. Then Neptune also enters Aries on January 26th, joining Saturn in your 12th house. Neptune dissolves boundaries between you and the divine, increasing your intuition and spiritual awareness. Together, Saturn and Neptune in your 12th house are calling you to a profound spiritual awakening grounded in practical discipline. Pluto then continues its journey through Aquarius in your 10th house of career and public reputation, transforming your professional life and how you show up in the world. You're being called to step into authentic leadership and make a real impact through your work. The North Node shifts from Pisces into Aquarius on July 26th, moving from your 11th house to your 10th house. Your destiny is shifting from finding your community to stepping into professional leadership and public recognition. The second half of the year is about being seen and making your mark. Now let's zoom in on your one-on-one relationships because 2026 brings significant themes in this area for Taurus. Venus retrograde in October and November is the most significant relationship transit of the year. Your ruling planet retrograde in your 7th house of partnerships is asking deep questions about the quality of your one-on-one connection. connections. Venus retrograde in Scorpio demands depth, authenticity, and transformation in relationships. Surface level connections won't satisfy you during this period. You need real intimacy, real vulnerability, and real partnership. If your current relationship provides this, Venus retrograde deepens it. If it doesn't, Venus retrograde reveals the gaps. For single Taurus, Venus retrograde is a powerful time for self-reflection about relationship patterns. Why do certain types of people or dynamics keep showing up? What wounds need healing before you're ready for healthy partnerships? Venus retrograde gives you the gift of insight if you're willing to look honestly at your patterns. Mercury retrograde in Scorpio in October compounds the relationship themes. Communication and partnerships is tricky during this time. The key is to listen more than you speak, to ask for clarity when you don't understand, and avoid making permanent decisions based on retrograde confusion. When Venus moves into Libra, which is still retrograde on October 25th, the focus shifts slightly from romantic partnership to the partnership you have with yourself through day care. Are you treating yourself with the love and respect you desire from others? This is a crucial question. The North Node entering your 10th house in July has relationship implications too, particularly for professional partnerships or for Taurus who are building businesses with romantic partners. Your destined path includes professional collaboration and possibly public partnership. Jupiter in the 4th house from June onward supports relationships by creating a beautiful home environment for connection. You're someone who values quality time at home, and Jupiter here makes your space warm and welcoming. This benefits all your relationships, romantic, familial, and friendly. The key message for Taurus regarding relationships in 2026 is depth over surface, authenticity over performance, real vulnerability over protective walls. With Venus retrograde asking deep questions and Chiron beginning to heal your identity, you're ready for relationships that truly see and value the real you. Now let's talk about career and finances, areas of significant activity and transformation in 2026. Uranus moving from your first house into your second house on April 25th is the biggest financial story of your year. After 7 years of identity upheaval, the revolutionary energy moves to your finances. This might sound scary, but remember, the second house is your natural domain. You're the sign most connected to material security and resources, so you can handle Uranus here better than most. Uranus in Gemini brings innovative income opportunities. You may discover new ways to earn money, possibly through communication, technology, teaching, or multiple income streams. The key with Uranus is flexibility. Don't cling to one source of income. Diversify. Your values are also evolving under Uranus in the second house. What you thought was important may actually shift. You might realize you value freedom and flexibility over traditional security or experiences over accumulating possessions. This is a profound re-evaluation of what truly matters to you. Jupiter in Cancer in your third house for the first half of the year can bring income through communication, so writing, speaking, teaching, selling, or consulting. Your words have value, and Jupiter helps you recognize and monetize this. Pluto in Aquarius in your 10th house continues transforming your career and professional identity. You're being called to authentic leadership and to work that makes a real impact. Pluto doesn't care about superficial success. It wants deep transformation and meaningful contribution. The North Node entering your 10th house on July 26th is huge for career. Your destined path for the next 18 months is professional leadership and public visibility. The universe is pushing you toward recognition, authority, and making your mark in your field. For Taurus who have been playing small or avoiding visibility, this is your cosmic push to step up. This is about deepening your impact and potentially reaching a wider audience or higher level of influence. Mars transits throughout the year affect your professional energy. Mars in Aquarius in January energizes your career house. Mars in Taurus in May gives you personal drive and confidence. And Mars in Cancer in August energizes your communication and networking. Chiron entering your sign in June has financial implications because the first house affects the second house. Healing your sense of self-worth, which is your Chiron in first, directly impacts what you believe you deserve financially, which is the second house. So as you heal identity wounds, your financial reality can shift because you finally believe you're worthy of abundance. Financially, the overall message is innovation and evolution. The first half of the year focuses on communicating and networking your way to prosperity. The second half brings Uranus financial revolution, requiring flexibility and willingness to try new approaches. Throughout the year, Pluto and the North Node are calling you to professional transformation and leadership. Now let's talk about your health and wellness for 2026, which requires attention with the major transits affecting you. Chiron entering Taurus on June 19th is the most significant health transit. Chiron in your sign can bring up physical issues that require attention, but its ultimate purpose is healing. If health challenges arise, see them as opportunities to develop deeper self-care and self-acceptance. Chiron in the first house also affects body image and your relationship with your physical form. You may be confronting insecurities about appearance or physicality. The healing journey is about accepting and loving your body exactly as it is, while also honoring its needs. Saturn and Neptune in Aries in your 12th house throughout the year emphasize rest, sleep, and mental health. The 12th house governs rest and the unconscious, and with both Saturn and Neptune here, sleep is crucial. Make sure you're getting adequate rest and paying attention to your dreams. Saturn in the 12th house can initially manifest as sleep difficulties or anxiety if you're not addressing your inner work. The solution is building sustainable practices, so meditation, therapy, journaling, or other tools that help you process emotions and stress. Neptune in your 12th house increases sensitivity, which can affect health. So you may be more sensitive to foods, substances, environments, or energies. Honor this sensitivity rather than fighting it. Your body is giving you important information. Mars in Taurus from May 18th to June 28th is excellent for physical health. Your ruling planet in your sign gives you energy and motivation to exercise, eat well, and take care of your body. Use this window to establish healthy habits that continue throughout the year. Venus retrograde in your 6th house, when it moves into Libra in late October, asks you to review your daily health routines and self-care practices. Are you actually taking care of yourself, or are you neglecting your needs? Venus retrograde gives you a chance to recommit to your well-being. Uranus leaving your sign in April should stabilize your physical health after years of unexpected health issues or energy fluctuations. You should feel more consistent in your body and better able to establish sustainable routines. So the overall health guidance for 2026 is listen to your body through Chiron, prioritize rest and mental health through Saturn and Neptune in your 12th house, honor your increased sensitivity through Neptune, establish consistent routines through Saturn, and be willing to adapt as your needs evolve, which is Uranus in your 2nd house affecting your values around health and self-care. So now let's look at the month-to-month breakdown for the year. Let's start with January, which sets important themes for the year ahead. The month opens with Jupiter and Cancer in your 3rd house, supporting communication, learning, and connection with your local community. This is excellent energy for writing, teaching, studying, or simply having meaningful conversations. Your mind is expansive and curious now. On January 23rd, Mars enters Aquarius, moving into your 10th house of career. Your motivation and drive are focused on professional ambitions. This is when you take action on career goals, you assert yourself at work, or pursue leadership opportunities. Mars here gives you the courage to be visible and go after what you want professionally. The most significant transit of the month happens on January 26th when Neptune enters Aries, moving into your 12th house. Neptune hasn't been in Aries since the 1860s, so this is a generational shift that will unfold over the next decade and beyond. Neptune in the 12th house dissolves the boundaries between your conscious and unconscious mind, between you and the divine. You may experience increased intuition, vivid dreams, or a pull towards spiritual practices like meditation, yoga, or energy healing. Some of you may feel called to therapy or depth psychology to explore your subconscious patterns. Neptune in the 12th house can also increase sensitivity and make you more empathic. You might pick up on energies and emotions that aren't yours. Learning to protect your energy and creating healthy boundaries becomes essential. This isn't about becoming hard or closed, it's about discernment. January is asking you to turn inward even as Mars pushes you forward professionally. The balance between outer achievements and inner reflection will be a theme throughout the year. February brings several major transits that reshape your landscape. On February 3rd, Uranus goes direct in Taurus. Uranus has been retrograde since September 2025, and now it's moving forward again in your first house for its final months in your sign. This direct motion can bring final revelations about who you've become through all the changes of recent years. You're not the same person you were in 2018, and Uranus direct helps you own that transformation. The biggest shift comes on February 13th when Saturn enters Aries, moving into your 12th house. Saturn in the 12th house for the next 2.5 years asks you to take your spiritual life seriously. This isn't about toxic positivity or bypassing difficult emotions. It's about building sustainable practices that support your mental and emotional health. Saturn here can initially feel heavy as it may bring up fears, anxieties, or feelings of isolation. But Saturn's gift is structure and mastery. You're learning to master your inner world, to create discipline around rest and reflection, and to face your shadows with courage. This is deep, important work. With both Saturn and Neptune now in your 12th house in Aries, you have a unique combination: Neptune's spiritual disillusion and Saturn's practical structure. The key is integrating both, developing intuition while staying grounded, exploring the mystical while maintaining healthy boundaries, and surrendering while also taking responsibility. On February 26th, Mercury goes retrograde in Pisces in your 11th house of friendships and community. This retrograde asks you to review your social connections and group involvements. Are these friendships reciprocal? Do these groups truly align with your values? Mercury retrograde gives you time to reflect before the North Node shifts into your 10th house later in the year. February is fundamentally about endings and beginnings. Uranus is preparing to leave your sign, Saturn is beginning its journey through your 12th house, and you're being asked to release what no longer serves your highest good. March brings some significant cosmic activity as we move through Pisces season into early Aries. On March 2nd, Mars enters Pisces, moving into your 11th house of friendships, groups, and aspirations. Mars here motivates you to take action within your communities, to assert yourself in group settings, or to actively pursue your long-term goals. This is social energy that wants to connect and collaborate. The very next day, March 3rd, we have a full moon total lunar eclipse in Virgo in your 5th house of creativity, romance, pleasure, and self-expression. This is a powerful culmination or ending related to creative projects, romantic relationships, or how you've been expressing yourself. Eclipses bring sudden changes and revelations. This lunar eclipse might bring a creative project to completion, mark a turning point in a romantic relationship, or show you clearly what brings you joy and what doesn't. Pay attention to what's being released. It's making space for something better. On March 10th, Jupiter goes direct in Cancer in your 3rd house. Jupiter has been retrograde since November 2025, and now it's moving forward again, accelerating opportunities related to communication, learning, and local connections. Writing projects, teaching opportunities, or important conversations can move forward with greater ease. March is a powerful month as you approach Aries season, which precedes your own birthday season in late April and May. You're in a major transition. Uranus is about to leave your sign after 7 years, Chiron is about to enter, and you're preparing for a new chapter. As spring energy begins to build, you'll feel a natural renewal despite the weight of the inner work Saturn and Neptune are asking you to do. Your sense of groundedness and connection to the earth is returning, preparing you for Taurus season when you'll feel most aligned with your power. April is one of the most significant months of the year with major planetary shifts. On April 9th, Mars enters Aries, moving into your 12th house to join Saturn and Neptune. Mars in the 12th house can feel frustrating because your usually clear, direct energy becomes more internal and hidden. This is not a time for external battles, it's a time for inner work. Mars in the 12th house is excellent for meditation, therapy, spiritual practices, or addressing subconscious patterns. You're motivated to conquer your inner demons, to face fears, or to do the shadow work. Physical activity remains important, but you might be drawn to more gentle, meditative movements like yoga or Tai Chi. Then on April 25th comes the transit you've been waiting for. Uranus enters Gemini. After 7 years of revolutionary upheaval in your first house, Uranus finally moves into your second house of money, values, and possessions. This is huge, Taurus. Uranus leaving your sign means the constant surprises, disruptions, and identity crises are ending. You can finally feel stable in who you are. Yes, there may have been positive changes too, so increased authenticity, liberation from limiting patterns, or unexpected opportunities, but the intensity and unpredictability are finally easing. Uranus in Gemini brings innovation to your finances and what you value. Over the next 7 years, you may discover unusual income streams, work in emerging technologies or fields, or completely revolutionize your approach to money. The difference is that the second house is your natural domain. You're the sign most connected to material security, so you can handle financial innovation better than most. Uranus in your second house also asks, what do you truly value? Not what were you taught to value, but what actually matters to you. Your values may shift in unexpected ways. You might realize you value freedom over security, experiences over possessions, or creative fulfillment over financial abundance, or perhaps all of the above in a new configuration. April is about liberation. Uranus leaving your sign is like taking off heavy armor you've been wearing for 7 years. You can breathe. You can be yourself without constant disruption. You're finally stable even as your finances become more dynamic. May continues the theme of April while adding some new elements. On May 6th, Pluto goes retrograde in Aquarius in your 10th house. Pluto has been transforming your career and public reputation, and now it's retrograde until October. This is a time to integrate the professional changes rather than push forward with new ambitions. Reflect on the power dynamics in your workplace, how you've been showing up professionally, and what transformation is still needed. Pluto retrograde asks, are you stepping into authentic leadership or are you playing a role? Are you using your power wisely? What legacy do you want to create through your work? These are questions to contemplate during this retrograde. On May 18th, Mars enters Taurus. This is when you feel most energized, motivated, and like yourself. Mars in Taurus gives you the drive to pursue your goals with determination and persistence. You have incredible stamina during this transit. This is an excellent time to start new projects, especially ones that require steady, consistent efforts. You're not rushing, you're building something lasting. Physical activity is particularly enjoyable now. You might be drawn to strength training, hiking, gardening, or any activity that connects you to your body and the earth. Mars in your sign also increases your confidence and assertiveness. You're willing to stand up for yourself and go after what you want. Combined with the relief of Uranus having left your sign, you're feeling more solid and powerful in your identity. So May is about reclaiming your power. Professionally, with Pluto retrograde asking deep questions, and personally with Mars in your sign giving you the energy to act. June is a powerful month with multiple significant transits that set the tone for the second half of your year. On June 19th, Chiron enters Taurus, moving into your first house. Chiron is the wounded healer, and in your sign, it brings up deep wounds around your identity, self-worth, body image, and right to exist exactly as you are. Chiron's work is never comfortable, but it's profoundly healing. Over the coming years, you'll be addressing wounds you may have carried since childhood, so like feeling not good enough, not valuable enough, not worthy of love or success. Chiron shows you these wounds not to hurt you, but so you can finally heal them. Some of you may experience physical issues that require attention. Chiron in the first house can manifest as body-related challenges that ultimately lead to greater self-acceptance and healing. Others may face situations that trigger deep insecurity, forcing you to finally address the root causes. The gift of Chiron is that once you do the healing work, you become a healer for others. So your wounds become your wisdom, and your struggles become your strength. On June 28th, Mars enters Gemini, moving into your second house of money and possessions. Mars here motivates you to earn money and build material security. This is a productive period for focusing on income-generating activities, asking for raises, or pursuing new financial opportunities. Mars in Gemini is more mentally agile than Mars in Taurus, so you might explore multiple income streams or communicate your way to prosperity, either through writing, speaking, teaching, or sales. The very next day, June 29th, Mercury goes retrograde in Cancer in your third house. The retrograde affects communication, learning, and local connections. Be extra careful with emails, texts, and conversations. Misunderstandings are very likely right now. This is a good time to review rather than launch new communication projects. But the most exciting transit of the month happens on June 30th when Jupiter enters Leo, moving into your fourth house of home, family, and emotional foundations. Jupiter in your fourth house for the next year is incredibly nurturing and expansive. This is the best time in years to move, renovate, purchase property, or simply make your home more beautiful and comfortable. Jupiter wants to expand your domestic life and bring joy to your family relationships. Some of you may welcome a new family member, reconcile with relatives, or simply feel more emotionally secure and rooted. Jupiter and Leo in your fourth house is also about emotional expansion. You're allowing yourself to feel more deeply, to be more generous with your heart, to create a warm, welcoming environment for yourself and others. July continues the beautiful Jupiter and Leo energy while adding some important retrograde activity. On July 7th, Neptune goes retrograde in Aries in your 12th house. Neptune has only been in Aries since January, and now it's retrograde until December. This retrograde helps you integrate the spiritual insights and increase sensitivity you've been experiencing. Neptune retrograde can actually provide some clarity about the initial fog of Neptune entering your 12th house. You may better understand your intuitive hits, dreams, and spiritual experiences. This is a time to develop your spiritual practice through consistent effort rather than just receiving random mystical experiences. July 26th is a significant day with two major astrological events. First, Saturn goes retrograde in Aries in your 12th house. Saturn entered this house in February and now it's retrograde until mid-November. This retrograde gives you time to review the inner work and spiritual practices you've been developing. Saturn retrograde asks, are these practices truly serving you, or have you become rigid about them? Are you being compassionate with yourself or overly harsh? This retrograde helps you find balance between discipline and self-compassion in your spiritual life. Also on July 26th, the North Node retrograde enters Aquarius, moving from Pisces into your 10th house of career and public reputation. This is a major shift in your destined path. For the past 18 months, the North Node in Pisces was calling you to find your community and contribute to collective causes. Now the North Node in Aquarius is calling you to professional leadership and public visibility. Your destiny for the next 18 months is about stepping into your authority, being seen as a leader, and making your mark professionally. The universe is saying, you've done the inner work, you've found your people, now it's time to shine publicly and contribute through your career. July is about balancing the inner work, your Neptune and Saturn retrograde in your 12th house energy, with the outer calling, which is your North Node entering your 10th house. You're being asked to go deep while simultaneously preparing to be visible. August is eclipse season, bringing powerful catalysts for change. On August 3rd, Chiron goes retrograde in Taurus in your first house. Chiron just entered your sign in June, and now it's retrograde, which will actually take it back into Aries on September 17th. This back and forth motion shows you're transitioning between healing your spiritual wounds, which is your 12th house, and healing your identity wounds in your first house. Chiron retrograde asks you to review what's surfaced about your self-worth and identity. This is internal healing work, so be gentle with yourself as old wounds resurface for examination and integration. On August 11th, Mars enters Cancer, moving into your 3rd house of communication, learning, and local environment. Mars here energizes your mind and gives you the drive to communicate, learn, study, or connect with your immediate community. This is excellent energy for writing, teaching, or important conversations. The very next day, August 12th, we have a new moon total solar eclipse in Leo in your 4th house. This is a massive reset in the areas of home, family, and emotional foundations. Solar eclipses are new beginnings, and this one is opening a powerful new chapter in your domestic life. You may move, start a home renovation, welcome a family member, or experience a significant shift in your family dynamics. This eclipse is planting seeds that will develop over the next 6 months. Whatever begins around this time regarding home and family has long-term significance. Combined with Jupiter also in Leo in your 4th house, this eclipse is exceptionally positive for your domestic life. The universe is supporting you in creating a beautiful, secure, emotionally fulfilling home environment. Then on August 28th, we have a full moon partial lunar eclipse in Pisces in your 11th house. This eclipse is a culmination or ending related to friendships, groups, or long-term aspirations. Something in your social sphere comes to completion. Lunar eclipses are about release. So what friendship has run its course? What group involvement no longer serves you? What aspirations need to be let go so you can pursue your true calling? This eclipse is clearing your social landscape as the North Node prepares to fully activate your professional destiny. The two eclipses together, so the solar in Leo in your 4th house and the lunar in Pisces in your 11th house, are balancing home and community, emotional security and social contribution, and your private life and collective involvement. September brings transitions and continued inner work. On September 10th, Uranus goes retrograde in Gemini in your 2nd house. Uranus entered Gemini in April, and now it's retrograde until early 2027. This retrograde asks you to integrate the new approaches to money and values you've been exploring. Uranus retrograde in your 2nd house may bring back financial opportunities or ideas that were introduced earlier in the year. Rather than seeking new innovation, this is about consolidating and stabilizing what you've already discovered. On September 17th, Chiron retrograde re-enters Aries, moving back into your 12th house. This is Chiron's final pass through the end of your 12th house before it fully commits to healing your 1st house identity next year. Pay attention to any spiritual or subconscious wounds that resurface during this time. This is your last chance to address them before Chiron moves forward into your sign. September is Virgo season, activating your fifth house of creativity, romance, pleasure, and self-expression. After the domestic focus of the Leo eclipse, September asks you to have some fun. What brings you joy? What creative projects call to you? How can you add more pleasure to your life? This is an excellent month for creative work, romantic dates if you're in a relationship, or simply doing things that make you happy. Virgo energy helps you to be practical and organized about your joy. You can create systems that make pleasure a regular part of your life rather than an afterthought. With Jupiter still blessing your fourth house, you might find joy in home-based creativity, so cooking, decorating, gardening, or creating art in your beautiful space. October brings several retrogrades that ask you to slow down and review. On October 3rd, Venus goes retrograde in Scorpio in your 7th house of partnerships. Venus is your ruling planet, so this retrograde is particularly significant for you, Taurus. Venus retrograde in your partnership house asks you to review the quality and depth of your one-on-one relationships. So for partnered Tauruses, this is a time to reassess your relationship. Are you truly satisfied? Is the partnership balanced and reciprocal? Are there issues you've been avoiding that need to be addressed? Venus retrograde brings these questions to the surface. For single Taurus, Venus retrograde is not the ideal time to start new relationships. Instead, use this period to reflect on your relationship patterns and what you truly want in a partner. What keeps showing up? What needs healing before you're ready for the relationship you desire? On October 15th, Pluto goes direct in Aquarius in your 10th house. Pluto has been retrograde since May, and now it's moving forward again, accelerating the transformation of your career and public role. Professional changes that were internal during the retrograde may now manifest externally. On October 24th, Mercury goes retrograde in Scorpio, also in your 7th house. This retrograde compounds the Venus retrograde themes, so communication and partnerships become tricky. Be extra careful what you say to your partner, business associates, or close collaborators because misunderstandings are more likely now. Mercury retrograde in the 7th house also asks you to revisit agreements, contracts, or commitments you've made in partnerships. Is there something that needs to be renegotiated or clarified? The very next day, October 25th, Venus retrograde enters Libra, moving into your 6th house of health, work, and daily routines. Venus is at home in Libra, and even though it's retrograde, the shift brings some ease. You're reviewing the balance in your daily life, so your work-life balance, health routines, and how you take care of yourself day to day. October is fundamentally a month of relationship review, both in partnerships and in how you partner with yourself through daily self-care. November brings some relief as retrogrades end and you can move forward with greater clarity. On November 25th, Mars enters Virgo, moving into your 5th house of creativity, romance, and pleasure. Mars here motivates you to actively pursue joy, create boldly, and engage more passionately in romantic relationships. This is energizing, playful energy. Mars in Virgo in your 5th house is excellent for creative projects that require attention to detail. You're motivated to perfect your craft, to create something truly excellent. For creative Taurus, this is a productive and inspiring period. Romantically, Mars in your 5th house can heat things up. You're more direct about your desires, more willing to pursue pleasure, and more passionate in your expressions of love. Around mid-November, both Mercury and Venus go direct, which brings relief to the relationship challenges of October. Communication becomes more clear, partnership decisions feel more certain, and you can move forward with relationship commitments or changes that were on hold. November is Scorpio season, continuing to emphasize your 7th house of partnerships. Even as Mercury and Venus go direct, the Scorpio energy asks for depth and authenticity in relationships. This isn't about surface level connection, it's about real intimacy and vulnerability. With Jupiter still blessing your 4th house, November is the beautiful time to invite people into your home, to host gatherings, or to strengthen bonds with family. Your home is a source of joy and connection. December closes out the year with Sagittarius energy and a significant Jupiter retrograde. So on December 12th, Jupiter goes retrograde in Leo in your 4th house. Jupiter has been blessing your home and family life since June, and now it's retrograde until 2027. This isn't a problem. It's asking you to integrate the domestic blessings and expansion you've experienced. Jupiter retrograde in your 4th house asks, have you been overdoing it with home projects or family obligations? Do you feel genuinely rooted and secure, or are you just accumulating more space and stuff? This retrograde helps you find true emotional security rather than just external expansion. Jupiter retrograde is also a good time to reflect on family relationships and emotional patterns. What family dynamics need healing? Where can you create more authentic connection rather than just surface harmony? December is Sagittarius season, activating your 8th house of intimacy, shared resources, transformation, and depth. This is a powerful energy to end the year with because the 8th house is about profound change and merging with another. December is ideal for deep conversations with your partner, addressing financial matters involving others, so taxes, inheritances, joint accounts, or engaging in therapeutic or transformative practices. The 8th house is also associated with sexuality, so this can be a particularly intimate month for partnered Taurus. As the year winds down, take time to reflect on the journey you've experienced. You started 2026 with Uranus still in your sign, but preparing to leave. You navigate the profound relief of Uranus, finally moving into Gemini in April. You welcomed Chiron into your sign, beginning a deep healing journey. You experienced Saturn and Neptune entering your 12th house, calling you to spiritual developments and inner mastery. You witnessed your destiny shift from community involvement to professional leadership as the North Node entered your 10th house. You received Jupiter's blessings in your home and family life. You worked through relationship challenges during Venus retrograde and emerged with greater clarity about what you want in partnerships. So you're not the same person you were at the beginning of the year, Taurus. You're more stable, more healed, more connected to your inner wisdom, and more ready to step into professional leadership and public visibility. As we wrap up this comprehensive forecast, my advice for navigating 2026 is, first, celebrate Uranus leaving your sign in April. You've survived 7 years of revolutionary change. You're stronger, more authentic, and more liberated than you were in 2018, so honor this transformation. Second, embrace the healing journey Chiron is offering. Yes, it's uncomfortable when wounds surface, but this discomfort leads to profound healing and self-acceptance. Be gentle with yourself. Third, build spiritual practices that actually work for you. Saturn and Neptune in your 12th house need both structure and flow. Find meditation, therapy, creative expression, time in nature, or whatever practices help you connect with your inner wisdom. Fourth, be flexible with finances. Uranus in your 2nd house brings innovation and change to your income and values. Stay open to new possibilities and don't cling too tightly to what's always been. Fifth, step into your professional power. The North Node in your 10th house is calling you to leadership. Don't shrink back from visibility or opportunities to contribute at a higher level. You're ready. Sixth, create a beautiful home. Jupiter in your 4th house supports domestic expansion and family connection. Make your space a true sanctuary that reflects your values and brings you joy. Seventh, prioritize your health and sensitivity. Chiron and Neptune are both increasing your awareness of your body and energy. Honor your needs, even if they're different from others' expectations. And finally, remember that you're the sign of embodied wisdom, Taurus. You know how to be present in your body, connected to the earth, and grounded in what's real and tangible. These gifts are more important than ever as the world becomes increasingly chaotic and disconnected. 2026 is asking you to be a steady presence for yourself first and then for others. You're healing, stabilizing, and preparing to lead from a place of authentic groundedness. The world needs your medicine. Thank you so much for spending this time with me exploring your 2026 forecast. If this resonated with you, please give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment sharing what you're most excited or curious about for the year ahead, and subscribe if you haven't already. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you don't miss the monthly forecast throughout the year. Wishing you a grounded, healing, and abundant 2026, Taurus. May you find stability after years of change, healing in the midst of challenge, and joy in creating a beautiful life that truly reflects your values. But until next time, keep well, beautiful souls.